Now, my thing is like, Zadia, girl, if you want to go out all night and play around with Cameron and come home at 7 in the morning, why you didn't call your girl Ashley to let you in the door? Because Ashley is your homegirl in the house. Like, I wouldn't have called Sherese. That's the last person you gonna call to wake you to let you in the house. You gonna call Ashley or Vernisha. Vernisha ain't gonna complain about being woken up, but you sure the hell don't want to wake up Sherese, child. She need all the beauty sleep she can get, and that ain't no shade. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. You already know I'm your girl Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video we are talking Owns, Ready to Love, Make a Move or Nah. This is season 1, episode 2, Wake Up Call. Before we get into it, y'all, please do me the biggest favor and hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Also hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Also, share the video where you like to share your content and comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought about this Sherese and Zadia foolishness. In my opinion, it was not that deep, but we're going to get into it when we get to that part of the review. Also, if you are a Married at First Sight fan, I uploaded my video for season 17, They Down in Denver, y'all. Episode 1. It didn't get uploaded till this morning. I was trying to do the video last Wednesday night, but I didn't really have time. And then Thursday night, I did the video. I was trying to stay up and upload it, but I kept falling asleep. So by the time I woke up, it was like 11 something. I don't know what my phone was doing. So I went on to bed because, you know, I had to work. So anywho, the video is up, so check that out. But yeah, let's get into this Ready to Love. So where we pick up where we left off with Tamica telling the ladies, okay, this week, I'm gonna set you up with a man and see how y'all do. So Tamica had the 4 men come in the house, and she basically matched each lady with one of the men. So let's see. Ashley got matched with Marcus. He looks nice. I'm not into the blonde hair on top, but he was fine. Sherese wanted, she was like, she's seen the man in the suit. She hopes that's for her. Turns out it was. Maurice got matched with Sherese. She was like, yes, Tamica is a genius. She knows what she's doing. That's her type. I said the same thing. Okay. Vernisha got matched with, I don't know why my mind cannot remember that man's name, but he was really, really tall and he plays basketball. It's going to come back to me. Was it Jabon? No. I don't remember his name. LeBron. It was something like that. Anywho. And then who else we got? Zadia got matched with Cameron. Okay, and so she was like, oh, okay. She did think he was cuter than Jabari. Okay. So then at some time later on, they're going to decide if they want to either stick with the person that Tamica set them up with or stick with the original person they have been dating. So the one they're going to keep is going to be their keeper. Okay, so Tamica told them, go get changed so they can go on these dates. I was like, is they going to wait for them to change or what's going to happen? So, you know, they whatever. So they go on these dates. Sherese didn't have to change. I think she just went on the date as is with Maurice. So let's go. We'll start. I think the first date we saw actually was Zadia and Cameron. So Zadia and Cameron have a lot in common. I think Cameron's like 36, 38, something like that. He's a pharmacist and he's a photographer. He has a photography company. They both went to University of Houston around the same time. He went for like a semester after Hurricane Katrina. I think she said she went there a year she went somewhere a year on a college swimming scholarship, and then she transferred. I forgot which school. Anyway, I think it was University of Houston, and then she transferred to Clark Atlanta or something like that. They're both very ambitious. Zadia was sharing that she has a personal training company, and then she also does makeup artistry on the side. Now, I don't remember Zadia doing no makeup, but maybe she do. I don't know. I don't know. I can't comment on her makeup one way or another. So she liked that he was very ambitious. They had a good conversation. She said that, you know, all this stuff they have in common is cool. That's cute, but, you know, we're going to have to get off the surface level stuff. And so he was like, you cute. He's like, no, but you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. All this stuff. She's like, okay, compliments will get you far. I feel like they had a good connection, though. I did. He said, you know, he really related to her with, you know, she said sometimes she says yes to so many things and she's going. And then she gets burnt out. And he said he really related to that. He asked She was like, where are you from? Because you definitely are not from New Orleans. And he's like, you can't, like, I don't sound like I'm from New Orleans. And she's like, no, because you don't have the accent. And so he said he ended up staying in New Orleans because after pharmacy school, because he really made some connections with a lot of black pharmacy companies there. So, oh, that's pretty cool. I forgot where he's originally from. Sorry, y'all. Anywho, it's irrelevant, really. Sorry, y'all. I had to go get my stuff from the door. Y'all know I'll be having an Uber Eats order if I don't do nothing else. Anywho, Zadia and Cameron were finishing their date, was where we left off. Cameron said he be busy. Zadia asked him would he make time for her, and he said he definitely will. He hoping to get a second date. I can see them moving forward. And we see him in the preview, so he definitely seems like he will be sticking around. Okay, then we see the date between I believe it was Ashley and Marcus, and we may go out of order, y'all. Ashley and Marcus out on his pink shorts, and later on he also had on another pink outfit. I think I just don't like the way the men dress in New Orleans, and that's no shade to my New Orleans people, but some of these men's outfits, I wasn't feeling it, okay? So Marcus said he had to go home and change real quick. He said he made a joke about his mom dressing him, and Ashley said mine too. And so they're gonna do a bike ride. Ashley said she ain't rode a bike since she was a kid, and she's like, I don't know how to ride this bike, I don't even know. So she did good though, and so Marcus really enjoyed the bike ride because he said, you know, all her expressions and stuff made it fun. And so Ashley's always a good time. So then they went to like a gelato place to talk and cool down, and so they were catching up and everything like that. And so she was asking him, you know, does he like what he see and all that? And so he's like, he definitely liking her, you know, her body and stuff. He had said earlier he could tell she works out. I think he's like 41 years old, by the way, y'all. And so he's like, yeah, I seen you in that yellow gold dress. And she was like, what? Like, I was not wearing any yellow or gold. Like, what are you saying? She was like, Zadia had on the yellow gold. I was wearing like a tan. And he was like, you sure you wasn't wearing no gold? She was like, you say gold one more time. And so he's like, my bad. Like, I had it wrong. And he was like, you know, but it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You know, like, be patient with him. Basically, that meant he saw Zadia caught his eye before Ashley did. That's what it was giving. And I think Ashley picked up on that, right? So he did say that she was like, tell me about yourself. He said he's an assistant principal, and Ashley can relate to that because she's she says she's a jack of all trades. She's a serial entrepreneur, and she's also a speech therapist. And y'all know I can relate to both of them because I'm a teacher and I teach special education. So, you know, I work with speech therapists as well. And I'm thinking about getting my admin credentials so I could be an assistant principal probably next year if I do it. So shout out to everybody in education, okay? So she said she could relate to him with that struggle and empathize, and you know, they both want to help children and improve children's lives, so they can relate to that. That was pretty much the end of the day. Like, they didn't really talk about nothing else significant that I can remember, but if y'all remember it, let me know in the comments. Moving on. We also seen a date with I think Sherese's date with Maurice was next. Now, they didn't have to go change clothes. You know, they like the finer things that like Tamica said. So they're going to sit down and eat at a nice restaurant and be fancy. And so he had flowers brought to the table for her. And so he said, you know, he always wins people over by just being himself and his personality. He's a lawyer. He does have his own practice. Sherese made a joke about her friend. A lot of her friends are lawyers, and they make jokes saying like, oh, I'm gonna sue you. And he was like, yeah, but we hope we don't get to that. Like, most of the time a good lawyer could be persuasive, and he's kind of like wink, wink. And I'm like, Maurice, we got your number. So Maurice has 4 kids. You know, Sherese gonna ask. His youngest kid is 21. Sherese doesn't like the fact that he has 4 kids, but she's gonna try, and she doesn't know that will fit in her life. She doesn't date, she doesn't date people who've been married and have kids, I guess. I don't know if it's the marriage thing so much or is it just the kids thing. I think it's the kids thing, but he has been married and he has 4 kids. But the youngest is 21. And my thing, Sherese, is like, I get it. But Sherese, you 44. And mind you, Maurice is 51, y'all. You can't expect this 51-year-old man not to have kids and not to have ever been married. And the youngest is 21, so it's really like he ain't got no kids at all because they grown and gone. Maybe she's concerned he may not want to start over if she wants a kid. Maybe that could be her concern. But she was worried about how she would fit in her life. And I was like, girl, it's too soon to worry about that. And plus, his kids are grown. It ain't like the Antonio with the 4-year-old. Like, that's perfect, in my opinion, for Sherese. I don't know if Sherese wants to have kids or not. She's giving, she don't want to have kids, but maybe she does. I don't know. But, you know, maybe he would be willing to start over for her. I don't know. But I think she needs to not worry about that right now. Like, it's better than the Antonio situation for sure if his youngest is 21. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all that in the comments. So they talking, and she's asking him what does he like to do for fun outside of work, and he does on his own practice, like I said. And so he said he likes to go out to brunches, dinners, parties, and stuff like that. And she can relate because that's what she wants to do. She's like, no Netflix and chill for you. And he's like, no. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to be boring. And so ain't nothing wrong with a little Netflix and chill though. Okay, I like to go out just as much as the next person, but I also like to sit down sometime. Okay, so anyway, she related to them on that. So then the food came, and Maurice got dead silent. I guess he was hungry. Because he was all in that food. He's like, yeah, it's good, it's good. So she was like, okay, so have you been on a blind date before? No. Every question she asked him, he was just giving one word answer, and he was worried about his food. She's like, you been here before? Yeah, I have. I was like, it was crickets, y'all. Crickets. Sherese is like, okay, I'm the one trying to get the communication. She don't really like this. She don't know if he like her or not. I know what was going on with Maurice. I don't know if he don't know how to conversation. To me, he didn't have a lot of personality. And to me, he gave, like, I think I got this personality, but I really don't. Like, I don't know. Like, I thought they would work out, but I don't really know, y'all. I don't know. So, then I think the final date we do see is Vernisha and I still don't remember that man's name. I want to say it was Lamont or something like that. So he's a real tall man. Vernisha likes him tall. He's like 37, 38, somewhere in their late 30s. He's a retired basketball player. He just retired a year ago. He said he mostly played overseas, like in France and places like that, but a little bit of U.S. in the G League, I believe he said it was called, but not like full-on pro. And so she was asking him about like his last relationship. He said, you know, now mind you, I've been traveling playing basketball. And she's like, okay, well, what was it? He said back in 2008, y'all. And she's like, what? And she's like, well, how long was that relationship? He said 2 years. I was like, oh, that's a long time ago. He said he was 21. I think he closer to my age because Vernisha says she's like 41. But anyway, yeah, no, sir. No. I don't see it. Yeah, I think he's like a year younger than me. Anyway, so she's concerned that he hasn't had a lot of relationship experience. I don't blame her, but I will say, can't Vernisha kind of relate because she always told us on Ready to Love that she was so focused on raising her daughters, that she hadn't really gotten back out there until she, you know, was down in Houston playing with Joel. So I would think maybe they could kind of still connect in a way, but I can see if he was still kind of immature in that respect, then I can get that too. He asked her, well, why are you still single? Like, you got to have plenty of options. Like, you know, you're beautiful, you're this and that. And so she was like, no, my phone be dry. She said she dates with intention. And so if somebody ain't coming at her correct, she keep it moving. I know that's right, Vernisha. And so she said she's a hopeless romantic, though. She likes romantic gestures, flowers and stuff. And he's like, hey, I should have listened to my mama. She told me to bring flowers and I didn't. He said he talks to his mom. He gonna tell her about the date and all that. I hope he ain't a mama's boy, though. But Vernisha liked him, but she is hesitant. Okay, so that was all 4 dates. So then they get back down to the house, right? And so Tamica Lee comes. And I don't know if producer told Tamica, girl, some drama in the house. Or if she just picked up on something and knew to ask her. She was like, okay, how are you doing in the house? You know, it's day 2. How y'all ladies getting along? You know, what's going on in the house? And so Sheree, you know, Ashley's like, girl, we having a good time. We cooking, we cleaning, we vibing. Vernisha said, we good. Sherese was like, you know, we all got to just, you know, have our house rules, respect each other. Sherese was like, we should have discussed this day 1. She got to have the rules down, okay? So Tamica was like, what's going on? I'm sensing something going on in the house. So the girls was all up late last night, drinking, talking, having a good old time in the kitchen. So Miss Zadia from DC says, y'all want to, you know, we feeling good. You know, y'all want to invite some guys over. Y'all want to invite the guys over. What's up? So, Ashley, good. Yeah, she want to. She whatever. Vernisha said, we grown. Yeah, let's do it. Sherese said no, she's not comfortable with having men in the house. And so Zadia was like, okay, fine, good, that's fine. Everybody said cool. Okay. Ashley and her question was like, when they was talking about it, Ashley was sipping her drink like, girl, she ain't going there. So, and Sherese's confessional, she's like, yeah, the girls is drinking, they was feeling themselves, and I'm just really shocked that, it would get to the point where, she would want to have a guy over to the house. Like, I can't believe that she would want to do that. Like, I would not want to have a guy over here. And I was like, Sherese, why are you judging this lady? Because she was feeling good and she wanted to invite the men over. Like, what is wrong with that? Now, get it, I could see Sherese's side. We don't know those men. We shouldn't be letting them come to the house. I could definitely see both sides. I'm not tripping, y'all. I'm not crazy. I understand. Like, we got to be safe. We don't know. And if the camera crew wasn't there, especially, like, that could definitely be a safety issue. Like, I totally get it. Totally get it. But once Sherese said no, and everybody's like, okay, girl, we respect it. Like, what is the issue? Like, why is Sherese making this a big old deal? So, Sherese said, then, she got a call at 7 a.m. to let Zadia in, and she was woken up out her sleep, and she don't play about her sleep. Don't wake her up out her sleep. So Zadia said, I came home at 7 in the morning, and the doors was locked. I was locked out. Now, I was like, well, Zadia, where was you that you coming home at 7 in the morning? I was like, did she not sleep there? What's going on? So then, and I had to rewind it. I was like, what is happening? But y'all know I watched the episode twice. So, Tamica's like, wait a minute, who wasn't in the house last night? So Ashley said, I was in the house in my bed. Vernisha said she was sitting up in her room. She was in the house. Sherese said she was up in the house. Zadia cleared her throat because she prepared to lie and said, I slept in my bed as well. So, Tamica was like, wait, what? Like, girl, what? And so Zadia said, I went for a walk, okay? And Tamica's like, well, girl, why you didn't say that? She's like, well, what time you go for your walk? But Tamica could tell she was lying because Zadia had a smirk on her face, right? And so she's like, yeah, I go for a walk at 6. And she was like, 6 a.m.? She's like, yeah, I went for a walk at 6 a.m. and I came back at 7 and the doors was locked. Now, I was like, girl, you ain't went for no walk at no 6 a.m. You tried it. So, but Tamica knew she was lying, okay? And so Ashley was like, this girl putting her feet on the gas. Like, she is really lying up here. She is lying. And so Sherese is like, I can't believe she gonna, just throw everybody else in the house under the bus. She is lying, girl. So then Tamica was like, okay, well, this is an example. Because Tamica trying to bring it back to the date. And Tamica's like, well, this is an example of how we got to set boundaries in a relationship and stuff. Zadia was like, don't worry, Tamica. If I leave the house again, girl, I will let you know. Honest. So I was like, girl, you lying. Zadia, you lying. And Sherese is like, don't be waking me up out my sleep, okay? She's like, do not wake me up. You woke me up at 7 a.m. You woke me up. Now, my thing is like, Zadia, girl, if you want to go out all night and play around with Cameron and come home at 7 in the morning, why you didn't call your girl Ashley to let you in the door? Because Ashley is your homegirl in the house. Like, I wouldn't have called Sherese. That's the last person you going to call to wake you to let you in the house. You going to call Ashley or Vernisha. Vernisha ain't going to complain about being woken up, but you sure the hell don't want to wake up Sherese, child. She need all the beauty sleep she can get, and that ain't no shade. Anyway, they got through that. Tamica said, lets them know, okay, you going to decide today, like right now, which man you going to keep and which one you going to toss back to the streets. And we going to invite the men over right now. Now, mind you, in my head, I'm like, well, the men going to be in the house anyway, so I don't know I'll be tripping, but I get it. We're filming, and at the nighttime with the drinks, we was not filming. So anyway, the men come over. So we got Maurice, Lamont, I don't know if that's what his name was, Vernisha's date, Marcus, and Cameron. Yes. So they came over, and everybody's mixing and mingling. And, as well as the 4 original men. So, or 3 now, because it was Jabari, Antonio. Maurice came. I forgot about Maurice. And I cannot remember the other man's name. Donald. Okay, so they all had to come to the house, okay, so that the ladies can make a decision. Now, one thing I did like about this show versus like Queen's Court did it as a whole formal dinner thing, and I like how this show, they just pulled them to the side and said you ain't it or you not. So I like the way they did it. It was a little bit more organic, I feel like. So all the men came down to the house, right? And everybody's mixing and mingling. Sherese is talking to Antonio. She's like, let me see what you got on. He's like, he got his vest on again. He was happy to be on TV, y'all. She spun him around. He had another printed vest in the back. And let me tell y'all, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what y'all say. Sherese be wrong about a lot of stuff, but she right about Antonio. That vest was horrible. It was tacky on top of tacky. Both of them, all the vests. At least put the suit jacket on over it. I know he want to show it off. I know that might be the New Orleans style and the flair, but I wasn't feeling it. Also, Marcus's pink pants and the pretty shirt, wasn't feeling it. I'm not saying a man can't wear pink. I ain't saying that at all. I just didn't particularly like them two styles that we were given. Didn't like them. So the girl, everybody's mixing and mingling. Vernisha and Jabari swapping stories about their oldest daughters being gay. I didn't understand why they had to like announce that on TV, but okay. And then we see Donald and Ashley. Ashley asked Donald to recite, some of his poetry. He did a little poem. She's like, oh, you did that for somebody in college. Like, He's like, no, this is the first time I'm performing this for you. I'm like, okay. So then we do see Ashley pull Donald and Marcus in the house. And, she's saying what she had a good time with both of them, but she want more from Donald. When it comes to Marcus, she feels like he would want to date everybody, and she want her man to be intentionally focused on her. So that's why she threw him back. I think because she knew, like, okay, if he remembered Zadia's dress, then he ain't really checking for me. And I would say that's a good choice. Although I'm not too sure about Donald either, girl, but we're going to go with what we got. So ultimately, Ashley's keeping Donald, throwing back Marcus. Okay, Marcus said he feel like it would have been more time. If it would have been more time, maybe things could have worked out. You got to take your time with him. Marcus, we ain't got time, okay? Bye, Marcus. But good luck with your, career and stuff. Then everybody's mixing and mingling, right? Sherese pulled Cameron to the side. Now, mind you, Zadia had already said it's snakes in the grass. She don't trust Sherese. So Sherese is like, I can't get a straight answer about what was going on. So I'm going to talk to Cameron and get to the bottom of it. So she pulled Cameron aside because I was like, Sherese ain't going on a date with Cameron. Why is she talking with Cameron? But she investigating. I said, not Sherese doing her own investigation. So Sherese talking to Cameron, and they talking about where they want to live. He want to live in Atlanta. They talking about hurricanes. She said she's scared of the hurricanes. He's like, you ain't scared of no hurricanes. Look at you with your red dress. I see you. And I was like, is he flirting with Sherese? So then she was like, I got a bone to pick with you. Now, mind you, Zadia came outside. She saw Cameron and Sherese talking. She went to the left because she was like, I see what Sherese doing. I'm not, So Sherese is talking to Cameron. Sherese is like, I got a bone to pick with you. He's like, oh, I'm going to pick away. She said, you are the reason why I didn't get no sleep. I was woken up out of my sleep at 7 a.m. And so she was like, yeah, you was dropping off somebody at 7 a.m. She's like, who did you go on a date with? He said, Zadia. She's like, yeah, you was dropping her off at 7 a.m. And he was like, what? Like, I'm ignorant. I'm oblivious. Like, what's going on? He's like, all I know is I pulled up in the whip, dropped the young lady off. That's all I know. And I was like, what you know, Cameron? So she was like, yeah, you the reason why I'm tired. He's like, I'm tired too. I said, I bet you are, Cameron, because you was out all night with Zadia doing God knows what. Okay? Talking. So then in his confessional, y'all, he said, Zadia hit me up. I picked her up, and we just talked all night till the sun came up, and then I dropped her back off at 7 a.m. I said, y'all talked all night? Really, Cameron? Really? Y'all talked all night? Okay. It's okay, Zadia, if you wanted to get it popping, because she had been drinking. So you ain't gonna tell me, because see, women, now we know, be honest, ladies, be honest. You know when you be drinking, and you start feeling yourself and you start hitting people up, you ain't gonna just be talking all night. Now, come on. I ain't saying Zadia had no activities. I'm just saying, allegedly. But I ain't mad at you, Zadia, girl, on your stuff. So, Sherese got the information. So then Zadia pulled him to the side, like, let me rescue him. So she took him in the house. She said, they really hanging out. They having a good time. They vibing. She also took Jabari in the house. She told Jabari, like, I think you're really cool. We have a good friendship. However, I feel like you've shown that you like Vernisha more than you should like me. And so I don't think we're going to go any further. He's like, was that your way of breaking up with me? She's like, we were never together. I was hollering at that point. And so he's like, well, dang, can we at least still be friends? And he said that, she said yes. And so they'll be friends. he said in his confessional, like, he didn't make it no secret that, you know, he liked Vernisha more. I think that's what he wanted to happen. And he said he's, you know, strongly attracted to Vernisha. And so that's how it was supposed to go. Jabari and Zadia were never a match. It was really giving uncle and niece for me. So then she's talking to Cameron. She said, you know, we connect on a lot of stuff, but however, like, I feel like we need to talk about your past relationships. So he was like, he don't really like to dwell on the past. He don't like to bring up his past relationships. I was like, oh, that's giving red flag. And so she was like, but why not? Like, that's how we learn and we heal and all that. So he said he could talk about what he learned from those. And so she was like, okay, I look forward to those conversations. Yeah, Zadia, you better keep an eye on that one, girl. But she ultimately decided to keep Cameron and toss back Jabari, who was never hers to begin with. So then, let's see, we got Miss Sherese. Sherese is choosing between Maurice and Antonio. She told Antonio she didn't have any chemistry with him, and the whole thing with the kids and all that. And the age difference was another thing. And so Antonio agreed that there was no chemistry, but he thinks chemistry takes time. I don't know. You know, there's this debate on Married at First Sight about, can you build chemistry or not? I feel like chemistry is a natural instinct thing, and it can die down, and maybe it can build back up, but I think it needs to be instantly there, in my opinion. But yeah, it can build as well. I can see that too. So she picked Maurice. Maurice gonna sit in his confessional talking about, yeah, I already knew. I had no doubt that Sherese is gonna pick me. Like, of course, like, I'm a catch, I'm this and I'm that. Like, I had this personality. I was like, what? Maurice, what? Like, what? Like, if it wasn't for the fact that Antonio is giving nothing compared to you, like, you wouldn't have got picked. Like, you were barely talking on the date. Like, you giving yourself way too much. Like, yeah, you got it going on, you a lawyer and all that, but you were giving no personality on that date. So I didn't understand. Maurice was giving himself way too much. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, though. So then we see Miss Vernisha talk to Jabari and the basketball player. Is it Lamont? Child, I still don't know his name. She was like, do I want to, go with the first person like I did previously? Or do I want to go for something new? Ultimately, she picked Jabari because they have more in common. They have a better connection. She felt like the other guy didn't have enough dating experience for her, and that made her weary. Understandable. She made the right choice, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the ladies' choices, though, in the comments. So then, final scene, y'all. This was a mess. So the ladies is in the kitchen cooking, having a good old time. Zadia come down to her robe, talking about she feel like a housewife. I didn't see it, but okay, girl. So then, Ashley's like, we cooking, we having a good time, get ready for bed, but, let's talk about the rules and stuff. Ashley said, I ain't got no rules, I ain't got no boundaries, but I'll respect yours. I said, girl, we know you ain't got no rules and no boundaries, and that's no shade. Vernisha said, as long as everybody respects each other, we good. Vernisha and Ashley are easygoing, and I appreciate easygoing people in my life. So Sherese thing is like, I'm dating Maurice and I would never invite him to the house. I would never do that. And I don't understand why you would think, it's okay to invite somebody to the house. And Zadia was like, you know what? We talked about it. You said no, we didn't bring the guys to the house. So I don't understand why it's an issue. Like, this is a sisterhood. We all supposed to be sisters. We are ladies. You're supposed to be getting along. And if I had a problem with you, I would just go to you. I wouldn't be making it a big deal like the way you are. And she said, and so Sherese is like, okay. Like, Sherese said something. They going back and forth. Zadia was like, well, clearly you're not a sister because you're not understanding that. You're not doing that. And I was like, dang. And so Sherese is like, you're not going to tell me who I am. You're not going to tell me who I am. I know who I am. And that's not what you're going to say. And so then they're going back and forth and back. Ashley and Vernisha is looking like, girl. So, Zadia's thing is like, okay, we didn't invite the guys to the house. Like, what is the problem? And so Sherese is like, okay, first of all, let me tell you what you're not going to do. You're not going to be waking me up at 7 a.m. You was waking me up. Zadia was like, okay, if you said, you said you had a problem with me waking you up, you would have told me at the beginning, like, I would have, apologized. I would have said something. You didn't say anything. And I was like, yeah, Zadia, don't be waking people up at 7 a.m. Like, you should have texted Ashley or called her and be like, girl, can you let me in? So she was like, you had the door locked. So basically Zadia and Sherese is going back and forth saying a whole bunch of nothing. You couldn't even half understand what the conversation was, y'all. Sherese says Zadia was staring her down, and she's like, she didn't care, and you know, if she has to fight, she will, but she too old to be fighting, she too beautiful, she too successful. I'll say, yeah, you both of y'all are too grown to be fighting, first of all. She talking about she will pack up her stuff and leave this house if she has to. And I was like, girl, then bye. Bye, Sherese. Ain't nobody holding you there. Like, you want this check. Don't play with it. Sherese, in my opinion, blew it out of proportion. Like, once the girl said, okay, we respect you, we're not going to invite guys to the house, what is the issue? Now, granted, maybe Zadia shouldn't have been calling your phone to wake you up. You know what it's giving? I just thought about that. It's very much giving the whole Kenya Bolo situation. The way Kenya was like trying to shame the girls about the Bolo situation. That's what it kind of was giving to me a little bit. Like, Sherese to me was trying to shame Zadia a little bit, okay? And that's the part I didn't like. You know, granted, maybe Zadia shouldn't have been waking her up in the morning, whatever. Maybe they should have been trying to invite guys to the house off camera. I totally can get down with that. But you didn't need to like shame her for trying, you know, coming up with the idea. Like, dang. And once they respected your boundaries, it's not like she said no and they invited somebody to the house. So I really didn't know what we was fussing and fighting over. Zadia was like, oh, she just wants a moment. She just wants a moment. Sherese is like, no, I don't. No, I don't. And y'all, it was tied. And I don't want to do a whole season of Zadia versus Sherese. I'm not doing this all season. No, ma'am. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Are you on Zadia or Sherese's side? Not that we need sides. Next week looks like Tamica is going to have the ladies go on a date. All four ladies go on a date with the same guy. So I like that they're switching up the process. So that is kind of making the show interesting. And I will say this episode was better than last episode. But y'all let me know what y'all thought in the comments. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.